In Gussel, I'm just here in my parents' home uh, in University Place, Washington, and kind of back from my vacation, getting back into my regular grind here shortly. Kind of. So I'll be dog sitting also soon as well. So I wanted to make a quick video here. This may be a different way of looking at nutrition than again I've mentioned before, and it kind of goes something like this, and this might make things a little bit more humorous or fun in a way. But just we can all imagine we can personify animals very well, but can we personify foods? If you were to kind of describe different foods in regard to their personality, what characteristics would you attribute to different kinds of foods? And just from that perspective, when you eat those foods, you're taking into yourself attributes of those personalities, if you will. Maybe that's again this is kind of a it's much more of a stretch again than with animals, because obviously there's kind of a order of level of advancedness, with humans being the most advanced life form here on Earth. Anyone who says otherwise is an odd duck that way. That's okay. Some people believe that some funny stuff there, but then after humans are, you're more intelligent mammals, then you're less intelligent mammals, then you're I don't know. After that's birds and reptiles and amphibians and fish and shellfish. Eventually, you get to plant foods, and yeah, I mean, like so if you describe the personality of an orange, it'd be pretty cheerful, right? But you need some broccoli in there, some more serious sober mindedness in there to counterbalance the oranges. You need both, right? And if you eat too much potato, you might just be kind of getting too much of the practical, boring, whatever. Broccoli, of course, being a little bit more. Well, you can definitely fill in the blanks there, but it's interesting when you think about things that way, and then you consider plant foods have the way they can have personalities that are more like kids, in a way where they're not quite as complex or developed. I mentioned that when I'm teaching music lessons, teaching kids is a little bit like eating fruit, especially fruit, because it's like you get, especially certain kinds of fruit, because you get singular flavors, and the kids are very sweet, and so it's always a pleasure. Mostly, there's a few hot peppers in there, but So with teens, it's a bit more like having some kind of meal with spices, and sometimes you get stronger flavors, and sometimes those flavors are a little bit different. But by the time you get to adults, you're talking about really rich foods, meat and poultry, and maybe some creamy stuff, and rich desserts. Adults have all these other qualities they've developed. They're richer, right? And there's things that adults we do that we probably should change. It's hard sometimes to be as singular with regard to being as good of a person as we can be sometimes compared to kids, but we also have other qualities that I think are great that we've developed. We just don't often know that we have. But diet's the same way. You do want to have a lot of those simpler foods, so that when you have more complex food, it's not going to overwhelm your body. It takes a long time to digest meat. There's a lot of things in animal foods, both meat and dairy, or both ways that aren't really that great for us. We know this. And you have simpler foods, your body says, "Hey, I just feel less bogged down. I can just do stuff." And now sometimes we'll want something a little bit more complex in that meaty way, or whatever. But that's not. I mean, I mean, if you're a really big guy, you're going to want more of that stuff, obviously. Hulk Hogan, there was a show that a while back that where you had, I can't remember his real name, but I should have, anyway, it was a family reality show, and Hulk Hogan his fridge is full of hot dogs and salami and bologna and stuff like that. Cheaper meats, right? Because meat's expensive, but he had a whole lot of meat there. I do mean a lot of meat. And again, a lot of the lunch meats, a lot of cold cuts, a lot of that stuff, along with some other stuff that's meaty. But he just had a whole bunch of meat and some cheese and stuff. And they had a woman come in and, oh, that just won't do. Oh, she threw out all this meat and put in all this vegetables and other stuff, especially vegetables, but a little bit of fruit and other stuff like that, and pine nuts or whatever. And so here comes Hulk Hogan. He comes home, he opens the fridge, he goes, oh no. It's just like, what do they do here? Now, obviously for most of us, if you have someone throw out your food, you'd be pretty upset because that can be expensive. But imagine Hulk Hogan's doing okay, but I hope they just didn't chuck it perfectly good meat, but I don't know. I wasn't there. But I just remember that scene, and it's drastic, but it's like, I mean, if you're a big guy as big as Hulk Hogan, you're gonna need to eat, probably just have necessity of feeding your muscles. You're probably gonna need a fair bit of meat, but that much, I don't know. Like I say, it's much harder to just get through the day eating sufficient amounts of plant foods, protein-wise, and everything else. I mean, it's hard being that big of a guy and just eating healthier because you have so much muscle that's asking for so much, again, especially animal protein. That's why I think being that big is really not the greatest way to go. It's excessive, right? Excessive muscle. I think that's also one of the big problems of thinking about things that way, is that we think the more muscle, the better. If you're a guy, like, if you want to be pounding down steaks every day, steak and eggs every day. Oh, so we say it's hard, it's not very fun. Yeah, I imagine. At some point, it's like, I know, I shouldn't pick on Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw is one of the strongest people alive, if not top. I don't know, it's huge. But yeah, it's not going to be good for your longevity. It's not going to be good for your organs. It's amazing that he's as muscular as he is, as big as he is. These really huge guys. But what's happening is it's putting a burden on their body. It's taxing their body, being that big. Even if it's all muscle, or mostly muscle. Even if they might not be the leanest guys in the world, but they're with a whole bunch of muscle. And that muscle is always wanting food, especially animal food, because of the complex proteins they have. I mean, they have complete proteins, and the calories, the taste. So it's okay to be in your 100s, weight-wise, or low 200s, or even high 200s if you're a bigger dude. But past that point, I don't know. Yeah, if you're having like animal protein for every single meal, and a lot of it, and a lot of red meat, it's gonna catch up to you. But yeah, I thought I mentioned that. Think of food as having different personalities. Obviously, when we think of beef, we think of big burly, tough guy, right? It can be more of an aggressive food. A lot of yang in beef, right? And maybe if you have a lot of vegetables, not a lot of fruit, you might not be as sweet of a person. I don't know. That kind of thing. You might be a very gardeny, rabbit type person, very alert and healthy, but maybe you need to enjoy fruit more, enjoy some simple pleasures in life. All right, leave me thoughts and comments below. Catch you later. Bye.